So I'd like to introduce in a moment Angela Fletcher, Is Porn Killing Dreams? For many years, Angela has been passionate about self-development to help herself and others achieve their dreams and live life to their full potential. Discovery of porn addiction threatened to rip Angela's marriage apart, and for the last 3 years, she devoted herself to learning everything about addiction. Not only about addiction, but also recovery and healing. She has successfully saved her own relationship and works tirelessly to support nearly 400 women in the same situation to heal themselves and their relationships. Angela is now on a mission to raise awareness of the lasting, damaging effects that porn can have on lives and relationships. So please give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Angela.
I haven't got my glasses on.
And there's no audience participation in this.
In the iconic words of Martin Luther King, I have a dream. And I'd like to take you all on the roller coaster that my dream has been on. When I was 3 years old, imagine, if you will, 2 little girls playing down by the river on a sunny afternoon. I heard a splash. As I turned, the image of the river carrying away my baby sister burned into my memory forever. I was sad and lonely as a child, and I didn't understand why baby Jesus couldn't bring my sister home again. That day, my dream was born. My dream was to have a happy family. When I was 23 years old, I was happily married and pregnant with our first child. And on the 23rd of March, 1988, I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy called Jamie. We were living the dream. But Jamie died that day, and my dreams died along with him. We had another beautiful son, but our marriage didn't survive our loss, and we divorced a couple of years later. Then when I was 26, I met Jay. Jay idolised me. He idolised Lewis, my little boy. He asked me to marry him just 3 weeks after we met, and I said yes. And 18 months later, we stood on the golden sands underneath the blazing sun in Antigua as we said, I do, with Lewis as our very proud best man. We were living the dream. But just 12 months later, 3 days before our first wedding anniversary, Jay lost his very short battle with cancer. And as his life slipped away from him, so my dreams slipped away from me. At 36, I met Simon. Simon made me laugh. He showed me that life was worth living. He showed me that there was hope. I remember his perfectly romantic proposal. He found the perfect wedding venue. He found our perfect home. We got married. We had our perfect little boy. And we were living the dream. Then when I turned 50, I realised we weren't living that dream anymore. Somehow, life had gotten in the way. We weren't a happy family. One day we had a huge row and we separated. But we said, no, we want this marriage. We want to rekindle our passion and restore our marriage. And so we decided we would start that with a short weekend away, romantic weekend away. We sat in a hot tub in the middle of a forest, sipping champagne and giggling like newlyweds. And I was the happiest I have been in years. But I had this knot at the pit of my stomach. I had this niggling doubt about an internet search that I'd found during our short separation. So I asked Simon about it. He froze like a rabbit in headlights. He was battling his inner demons that were saying, shh, keep our secret. But Simon didn't want to lie to me anymore. Simon saw my happiness. He saw my innocence. I felt the icy fingers of death grip my heart as Simon told me 20 years of secrets, lies, and betrayal. In that moment, I did not know who this Jekyll and Hyde was sat in front of me. In that moment, I didn't understand, why does this hurt more than those deaths? In that moment, porn killed our dreams. Since that day, I have dedicated myself to learning everything I can about sex and porn addiction, recovery, and healing. You'll be happy to know we did save our marriage. And now I support hundreds of women to navigate that very painful path of recovery. So the big question, is porn addictive, or is it just a bit of harmless fun? The definition of addiction is a persistent, compulsive reliance on a behaviour or a substance. So I'd like to share with you what I've learned over the last 3 years, and let's explore that question. Since the introduction of high-speed internet in 2006, porn has literally exploded. It's estimated 46 million men, women, and children are watching pornography daily. That's the population of Spain. Guess how many hours users watched last year on one website alone? Let me share. 5.5 billion hours of pornography on one website in 1 year alone. That's 620,000 years of porn. And YouTube reports similar figures. It's now freely available. There's no more having to go to that seedy sex shop on the high street to get those grainy DVDs or CDs or those sleazy magazines off the top shelf. And let me tell you, the porn on the internet is much, much, much more hardcore than what you used to get in those shops. And it's instantly accessible. We're all carrying it round in our back pockets. So it's certainly popular, but is it addictive or is it harmless? The neuroscience has shown that porn lights up those same neural reward pathways in the brain as addictions such as cocaine and heroin. Addicts get that same dopamine hit, that same high. And as with all addictions, users get desensitized. They need more and more of their drug of choice to get that same dopamine fix. With sex and porn addicts, that usually means they escalate to more and more extreme genres of porn they wouldn't even have dreamed they'd watch, and sometimes to more sexually acting out behaviours, like visiting strip joints, massage parlours, and prostitutes. Does that sound addictive? Now, the research has shown that watching endless hours of pornography brings has lasting damaging effects. Shame is intrinsically linked with addiction. Shame brings about social anxiety, isolation, and depression, which is a leading cause of suicide in young men today. Erectile dysfunction has risen by 1,000% in men under the age of 40 since 2006. We literally have a whole generation of young men who cannot make love to their wives and girlfriends, but they can still get an erection for porn. Does that sound harmless? Now, I cannot finish this speech without mentioning my tribe of warrior women. Research has shown that sex and porn addicts shut down emotionally. They disconnect emotionally from themselves and everybody around them. They lack the ability to be able to show intimacy, compassion, or empathy. They are literally as cold as ice, but they're very good at hiding that. The research has also shown that on discovery, partners meet all the criteria for PTSD. And that escalates to complex PTSD depending on the length of the relationship and the number of previous traumas. So go figure. Why did I feel so bad that day? On discovery, I want to share with you a couple of the quotes from the group. Annie said, "My world fell silent, my vision close to black, and I froze, literally, for a year." Julie said, "I felt my heart shatter into a million pieces that I felt would never heal." Porn is here and porn is here to stay. So today, I have a new dream. My dream is to raise awareness of the potential impacts, dangerous impacts of pornography on relationships, so that every man, woman and child, everyone can have a happy family. If porn is killing your dreams, I ask you, reach out, contact me, talk about this. Let's bring porn from out of the shadows and into the light so we can deal with this. I'm going to leave you with the words of Mahatma Gandhi. I ask you all to be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you.